finally, Julyzerg taking out that completely unprotected expansion. We do see that on the minimap he doesn't actually have view of C's buildings at his unprotected natural, but he's got to know that's there. Looks like he has a new spawning pool up right now. So again, I have to give the momentum back to July. He does have the superior economy, and now that he's taken out C's expansion at the 6 o'clock position, well, he hasn't taken it out yet, but he's basically nullified it. Now C only has, again, back down to 3 bases, and his main is probably running out of minerals very soon as well. So basically, C has two intake points right now, and July has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So wait, no, just 4, and I think he was planting down that 4th just there. So I think perhaps if Julyzerg had more expansion, 1 or 2 more expansions, it would be GG right now because he would have the intake to start pumping things out. C going in for a little bit of an attack on the front door, but meeting his match with several Ultralisks, and his forces are trying to retreat, but not doing a very good job at it. So C, interestingly, getting tanks because he knows he needs a little bit more firepower to deal with those Ultralisks, because they can take the hits. Zerglings going in against infantry, they tend to die pretty quick, and most of them die before they actually get to the Marines. But not Ultralisks. C going in and doing some initial irradiations, putting his science vessels out in the open. Oh, he does not protect the science vessels at all! Oh my god, 3 or 4 science vessels go down right there. And Julyzerg's forces are going to be pushed back, it looks like. Those Ultralisks are very close to dead. But Julyzerg has kept C's science vessel count down repeatedly, consistently. And as I was saying, those tanks are there because he needs those tanks to deal with those Ultralisks, and that is how he's able to defeat those Ultralisks right there. Those Marines were, as you can see, completely getting slaughtered by the Ultralisk, but the tanks were hitting him enough to take them down, and not to mention that they are irradiated as well. So a little bit of a drain. C looking a little bit despondent there. I think C sees that he's kind of on his way out right now. He's been trying to push, but he hasn't had any like major successes. He's had a couple of those little drops, and now C's protected expansion is almost out of resources. So basically, C only has this little base here, and the one at his unprotected natural expansion that are giving him any substantial intake right now. So C is basically being starved out. There are a couple open mineral nodes near him that he needs to try and take right now. For some reason, C irradiating a Zergling. It's kind of a waste of the energy. Maybe he was trying to target something else, or maybe he was hoping that it was in the middle of a crowd and it would damage a lot of the others. In any case, so C barely mining. C is not producing any more science vessels at the moment. He doesn't seem to have the intake for that. He has to be pumping out medics and marines right now in order to stay in this game. And Julyzerg, meanwhile, has plenty of intake, as they're just showing right now. So C going in to try and attack. Well, I guess he's just trying to pick off these Zerglings right here. Maybe C is going to try and go in. I'm not sure where he's going with those forces, actually. Maybe he was just going to take out those Zerglings. Julyzerg coming in with a massive force here. Scourges, Zerglings, Ultralisks. I haven't seen Defilers with that group. That is the one thing that Julyzerg has not been doing, is keeping Defilers with his groups. He's probably got a couple of Defilers trailing behind, though. And sees science vessels way out in the open, and Julyzerg not taking complete advantage of it. He only takes down 1 science vessel, unfortunately. He didn't have them targeted. He's trying to get ahead of them, and they stopped him, which was kind of a funny little coincidence. But Julyzerg is now pushing C back. He's taking this base. He did have the Defilers there. One of the Defilers gets irradiated. Both the Defilers get irradiated, but not before he's able to plant down some swarm, which is going to prevent C from getting back up in here and defending that base. He's going to have to lift out the command center. A lot of the SCVs die, so not looking good for his C at all. Julyzerg doing exactly what he needs to, and taking out the C's basically his furthermost intake. So now C down to basically 1 base. And at this point, I'm not sure if there's any way that C can come back in this, because C he doesn't have any substantial intake right now. Going out, just trying to venture out. I have to say that is what his only option right now, is to venture out with those science vessels and trying to radiate stuff before I can get to him, because other than that, he doesn't really have many options. He doesn't have the forces to go out and battle toe-to-toe with Julyzerg, who's just put down another expansion. So Julyzerg is extremely ahead economically. He has so much intake right now compared to C, who has one base. Is just probably getting that second base started up right now. So I'm not going to say that it's careless of C to go out with those science vessels, because that's all his options really are right now. And for some reason, July pulling back those Scourges, it looks like he probably could have taken out that science vessel. Maybe he's just going to keep them. And C has dropped another group of Marines inside Julyzerg's main. Again, this is exactly when you're kind of behind, you need to do these kind of surgical strikes, dropping a few forces in to make a lot of use of a few forces trying to take out key buildings. He takes out Julyzerg's spawning pool again. Julyzerg again without a spawning pool. I don't think it's going to matter to him too much, though, because he's going to be able to plant down a new one very quickly. And in the meantime, he does have a sizable army on the ground, and he still has Ultralisk Den, so there's not really much way that C can disable Julyzerg right now. At least C is trying. I got to hand him that. He's doing an excellent job of trying to pick away and do what he can, trying to keep Julyzerg pinned back a little bit. Julyzerg planning down a new spawning pool. But basically, C is just way too far behind at this point. There's not very much he can do. Pulling out SCVs, those are probably one of the SCVs from his main base. So I'm pretty sure. And oh shit, Julyzerg going in with a suicide squad of Lings trying to take down that command center. But C had a few Marines there. If C had not had those Marines right there, then they would have gone down. Oh, C's science vessels get plagued. Oh, that is the end. What? Oh, he's running his science vessels trying to irradiate and getting them just completely picked off. He had no Marines in the area whatsoever. Guardianos and a little bit of Dark Swarm keeping C's troops from taking that little hill. But he has one science vessel left, and it has only a couple hit points. And he does not have the intake to produce more science vessels right now. This is basically it. And C running his medics into that swarm for some reason, getting some medics picked off by some Lings that were in that swarm, just randomly. Oh, and that swarm holding off C long enough for him to get some colonies in there. But it doesn't matter, because those Ultralisks are enough to just, well, actually, it looks like a couple of those Ultralisks had been irradiated previously, so their hit points were down. But he's still probably going to be able to hold off this force. This is probably the deciding moment. If Julyzerg comes in and wipes out these forces of C's right now, then that's going to be all there is for C to do. And C is taking out this expansion, though, taking out that gas mine. I don't think it's going to bother Julyzerg very much, though, honestly, because at this point, as I said, Julyzerg completely ahead as far as forces, completely ahead as far as, well, not his forces, actually. He doesn't have too many forces on the ground at the moment, but his economy is just way ahead. And again, oh, Plague goes off after a ton, an absolute ton of C's troops. That is a lot of infantry, and C has had to pick up his command center from that location to fly it over to another expansion. And so C in pretty dire straits right now. He doesn't even have money to make some SCVs at that new base, it looks like. He's running some SCVs over. He's out at his main. He's out at his unprotected natural. He's out at his protected expansion. He basically just has that one base. And that one base, and this is the key point, is completely vulnerable right now. Julyzerg going in with some Scourges, taking out more science vessels. Oh, this is... Okay, so these forces are going to go down here, and that's going to be the end for C. C does not have enough intake right now to be pumping out, and C realizes it. C finally GG's. Excellent play by Julyzerg. I think Julyzerg may be back. We just saw some excellent play on his part. Use of Plague, use of Swarm, use of Scourges, his micromanagement with his Lings, all just superb. And a dominant victory for Julyzerg. GG, thanks for listening.